Hello and welcome. This is Fireworks, your preferred hard talk interview program on TVC. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. In recent times, the media has been accused of bias in its reportage of the farmer-herdsmen clashes raging across the country. And in fact, there have been calls in some quarters that some electronic media platforms be boycotted. So this and some editions that will follow will attempt at telling the Fulani, or if you like, the herdsman story. Welcome once again. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. Today my guest is the National Secretary of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, in the person of Alhaji Baba Usman in Ngazarma. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for honoring our invitation. Now, let's start from the consistent denial by the Miyetti Allah that its members are involved in the killings. Is that accurate? Am I correct? But do you deny that these conflicts resulting in deaths are taking place across the country? And what would be your explanation to it?
Well, you see, this crisis has been there for quite some time. And what people don't know, our members are the worst affected by the crisis. We are always surprised when we hear the media alleging whatever happens to our members, even before an investigation is conducted. The narratives will just point the first accusing finger on our members, without knowing that our members are the worst affected. I'm not covering our members, but let the truth be told. Let all Nigerians know what the herdsman is going through. A herdsman is somebody that moves with all his wealth, all he has, his only source of livelihood, moves with family, children, and everything that he has in the world. That is his life. And this is a guy that has not given the opportunity to be educated. He is left on his own for decades because he doesn't know, he doesn't enjoy anything government. Well, the only thing maybe he can identify government was maybe his police activities. When he is arrested, extorted, that is when and how he knows the function of government. Apart from that one, he doesn't know anything government. He doesn't enjoy your pump water. He doesn't care with your electricity. He doesn't care with nothing. He doesn't even care with the third road because he has his traditional routes that he follows to link to wherever he wants to go. So this is a society that is productive but is totally neglected by government. This is a society that lives in a vulnerable place, open for attacks by almost everything, ranging from snakes, dangerous animals, cattle rustlers, kidnappers. He is not spared by the cattle breeder conflict today because of the narratives going against him. Each and every community in Nigeria is suspicious about the herdsman.
There's another thing we must clarify, Alhaji, which is it the media that has demonized the herdsman? Or is the media reporting what has been told him, her, at the scene of these crimes? It is the victims who are saying, herdsmen attacked our village. Am I wrong?
But can the media go and investigative reporting before going to the public?
But the problem remains that the perpetrators of these attacks never stay behind.
It's an allegation. Look, this is a resource-based crisis. That is how we know it to be. It was and it is a resource-based crisis. But today, look at the dimension the crisis is taking. Look at the dimension the crisis is. It's no longer a resource-based crisis today because politics has come into play, security issues have come into play, religion has come into play, so many things, economy has come into play, so many things have come into play in this stage. So it's no longer a resource-based crisis because politicians are using it for so many things. The Fulanis, being generally Muslims, and being all Fulanis, because they are the pastoralists, belonging to the same tribe, belonging to the same religion. If they have a conflict with a community or a society that is a Christian society, they give it the coloration of a religious crisis, while it is not.
But whether we like it or not, death and destruction, murders, they're criminal offenses. Now, let's guide the discussion in that direction. Your association is a registered one, am I correct? It's a registered one.
That yesterday.
How many members are registered under MACBAN?
Well, just about 2 to 5 million members.
2 to 5 million members across Nigeria.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, when these farmer herdsmen clashes are reported across the country, do you get reports about certain incidents happened in Kaduna, certain incidents between farmers and herdsmen happened in Benue? Do you get reports about what happened, whether the aggressors were the Fulani or whether indeed the aggressors were the farmers who poisoned the cattle, who killed the cattle in the course of a misunderstanding that went out of control? Do you get such reports before reports now go to the media saying that some farmers, some villages have been attacked by herdsmen and so number of people were killed? Have you ever, since this conflict began to rage in 2011 down to 2018, have you ever got any reports like that?
We have been getting reports from our members, but I cannot tell you for all the crises. But we have been getting reports from our executives in either local governments or state branches. Let me give you an example. I can now tell you, authoritatively tell you, the genesis of the Gembo crisis.
Of the what?
Gembo Mambila crisis. Okay. I can tell you the genesis of Numan crisis. I can very well tell you the genesis of Kajuru crisis in Kaduna, where we lost about 96 members. We lost over 100 in Numan. Well, there was also a reprisal attack. I cannot dispute to that. When they happen, you see reprisal after reprisal. Two wrongs never make right. We call them senseless killings. In
the Mambila Plateau crisis, for instance, what was the report that you got from your members? Who were the guilty ones? Was it the communities or was it the pastoralists who were the aggressors?
The pastoralists, 724 of them were assassinated in cold blood. The military officer who went there confessed to the world that this is a genocide against our members. We lost 724 people. By
some accounts, the violence was in retaliation for an earlier attack on the Mambila group by their Fulani neighbors.
There was no attack.
So, if your association is registered, did you get that report?
We did.
From your Fulani neighbors?
We did from our Taraba State branch. Yeah. We have comprehensive report,
so what
covering everything. We reported, we wrote the government, we wrote a petition to the government, and to our greatest surprise, none of the perpetrators is arrested up to today that I'm talking to you.
Did you receive reports that at that time that your members had been the first attackers?
Our members were not the first attackers, but we reported to the government of Taraba State. We have had series of meetings with the governor. We told him the problem up there. We said, see, Oga, there's a problem up there in the Mambila Mountains. Our members are living peacefully with the communities. They are in their ranches, and they have acquired those ranches through the legal means. They all have titles on their ranches. They are practicing the ranching concept that a lot of people wanted it to be introduced into this country. These people are in their ranches, but the natives wanted to take over their land by force. We told the governor, we said, you intervene. Do something about this. We have sat with him. I think our state branch has ever written him. We complained on these things severally before it took place. And when it took place, our members were at the receiving end. Look at what took place in Numan. is over a stream that they used to come and water. These guys that are fighting with the Bachama communities in Numan, these are people that have been living together for over 100 years. For over 100, they have been living peacefully.
Now, there's an information gap there, Alhaji, which is, you know, the allegation in some accounts that the Mambila attacks was in response to an earlier attack perpetrated by the Fulani. Well, we really can't tell because evidence to that effect is not available. You're watching fireworks. We're making this effort to tell the herdsman story about what is really happening in farmer-herdsmen clashes across the country. Let's take a short break. Stay with Fireworks. We'll be right back.